Dinosaurs are invading the South Florida Science Museum and Aquarium, and yeah, they'll be looking at you like this while you get to check them out like that.
We're out here at One Blood where folks have lined up to give blood. You can just see the line here. We've actually got the Orlando Magic out here handing out water to folks who have been standing in line waiting to donate.
It's spending the day driving around Stewart looking for gas, but every gas station we've gone by has been totally out.
A manager here at Lindberger's Family Restaurant and Bar saw that most of the money was missing from this tip jar. So the staff went and looked at the security footage and they couldn't believe what they saw.
Quita, as of right now, no charges have been filed.
Right, we are being updated right this moment here at Surfside, and we are finding out the sad news that 2 more bodies have been found overnight.
Brian, Ashley, we are still waiting on confirmation.
At tonight's board meeting, Austin ISD trustees.
Chris Beard spent just 645 days live outside DKR Texas Memorial Stadium.
Welcome to UT's campus, where for the first time in months, head football coach Steve Sarkisian.
Piles of debris and rocks pushed onto shore. Hurricane Dorian showed no mercy for parts of Martin County, including the Jensen Beach Causeway Park.
First comes love.
I had always wanted a New Year's Eve wedding.
Then comes marriage.
This really has hit everyone.
Then comes, well, actually, wait. Is marriage coming?
What is going through your mind? Stress, worry.
For this rabbi and marketing expert respectively, you can probably guess why they're jumping hurdles to make sure their wedding still happens.
It's a way to give back and keep a wave of goodwill.
Getting the bearings inside the wheels can be pretty tricky.
Rolling along, volunteers of all ages.
We have one more wheel left.
With the nonprofit Cand-Aid, building skateboards.
As the sun started to set Wednesday, Mike Northern packs 2 trailers full of supplies.
Just set it down right there.
He's heading to Florida in the morning.
Anywhere on the door here.
See that yellow shirt? That's his calling card. As part of Southern Baptist Texas Convention, he's preparing to help in any way he can. Keith Miller bought his first goat 7 years ago.
That was a birthday present for Rochelle.
Now he has 120 in his herd at Hill Country Goats.
These are meat goats, and so I'm still building the herd.
On Tuesday, the smoke rider fire threatened his livestock.
I really got scared when I got to Oak Hill and I could see the smoke from Oak Hill.
Smoke and fire bearing down on these 55 nanny goats. Miller raced to save them.
What are you doing with your head in there, Goofy? There's plenty of stuff to eat on this side. I left 1 goat behind and one of my guardian dogs is still out there.
Those 55 goats grazing across about 50 acres here at his friend's property, now charred over. The lost lone goat survived, wandering the burned hillside.
Shocked. Devastated.
Jared Rossi grew up here, seeing it Wednesday for the first time since the smoke rider fire burned within feet of his childhood home.
It was a little emotional, but it's done now, and the houses are still here, so happy about that.
Hotspots still smoking during the day, threatening to spark again and burn the dry vegetation.
It was a little tough to get to most of them, but got what we saw. But I think most of them are out at this point.
The fire burning through the grass Tuesday, normally kept short by Miller's herd. This year, too dry to properly feed them, so dry that it burned quickly.
So I'm looking for a place to put them. I can't keep them here long.
But even looking out over all the devastation, a silver lining as that lost lone goat was found and nearly corralled by Miller, Rossi, and our news crew.
Another day, another cleanup for Friends of Palm Beach.
A lot of the trash gets stuck in the dunes because of all the plant life.
But right now they're busier than usual thanks to Hurricane Dorian.
It does bring in a lot of debris and we get a spike in larger debris.
The Ocean's Energy churned up trash from across the entire Caribbean and even our own shores, dumping it in areas like Palm Beach Island. This week the group found this empty 55-gallon oil barrel.
We gotta move it. That's the first thought, we gotta move it.
It's unknown exactly where this or any of the trash came from, but they're finding lots of plastic bottles, shoes, lumber, and even chemicals.
A lot of the trash is coming from the islands in the Caribbean, so like Haiti, Jamaica, Dominican Republic.
In just one day during post-Dorian cleanup, they picked up 350 pounds at just 2 locations.
I'm expecting a lot of more trash.
In Juno Beach,
much larger battle that Surfrider is facing.
Jamie Hamilton with the Surfrider Foundation hopes this influx of trash motivates more people to join cleanups.
You don't really think about the immense amount of plastic that's just sitting out in the ocean already, and then a storm like Dorian comes by and pushes it all up on shore, and you can't ignore it.
She says the winds right now could bring even more trash and debris on our beaches very soon.
It really could be from anywhere, but yes, it is definitely possible that in the next week or so we're going to see some larger items floating up from the Bahamas.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. Better than nothing.
About 1,000 at-home COVID-19 test kits.
4 right now. We're done.
Gone in less than an hour at Morningside Library in Port St. Lucie.
Thank you. Testing kits are in limited supply and on retail stores and even some of our existing testing sites. So we wanted to get these out into the community as quickly as possible.
St. Lucie County partnered with the Department of Health and the county's Public Safety Department to distribute more than 5,000 COVID-19 test kits across 6 branch libraries Wednesday.
5,000 kits with 300,000 residents isn't going to go very far, but at least we can get some into the community and hopefully they'll be used by the people that actually need them.
According to the State Department of Health, the new case positivity between December 24 and 30 is at 29%. County leaders hope that by offering free kits, it will help slow the spread of the virus.
We've been working with law enforcement since last week to try to figure out the logistics of this.
In the small town of Luling, Texas.
I remember him at 5, 6 years old, and if he heard the national anthem at a game or something, he was the first one to stand up.
A mother's love never wavers.
Had to keep his clothes.
In her tiny apartment, 72-year-old Catherine Sweden lives surrounded by memories.
These are his golfing hats, photography equipment, like lenses and things.
It's the happy memories of her son Mark that she clings to.
He's a fantastic photographer, artist. He designed homes, he designs jewelry.
Memories that give her the strength to fight for his freedom.
In a couple of months, it'll be 10 years.
10 years since the last time Sweden saw her son in person. Now she can only go through a box of old letters and drawings Mark was allowed to send home.
They allowed him to have crayons and colored pencils. And now they don't allow that anymore.
Sweden says the last time the Chinese government let her speak to Mark was a 5-minute phone conversation in 2018.
I don't even remember what I said. I just remember hearing his voice.
In 2012, Mark was in China on a business trip, buying flooring and fixtures.
He bought a house, he was getting married, and he had his own company.
He was arrested and detained after officials accused him of buying and selling drugs. Mark lost his fiancée, his freedom, and could possibly lose his life.
He's never confessed through all the torture, all the starvation.
A Chinese court gave Mark the death penalty, and while that's been delayed, his torturous detention continues.
I'm already 72. I cannot die without seeing his face again. I don't want his legacy to be just a box of stuff. And if he does come back and I'm not here, I want him to know that I did everything I could possibly do.
Sweden is not alone.
It feels much, much closer than any family because nobody else feels what we are going through like the other families.
A mural unveiled in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday displays Mark's face, along with 17 others currently being held by foreign governments.
And how much more time are all of these people going to miss with their families?
The mural is part of a growing call to bring these Americans home.
But when you travel around the world and you're caught in a legal system that's not the best, in some cases substandard, these things can happen. And then there's this big shock. Is America coming to help me? Well, guess what? They're not. In most cases, it takes a while.
Attorney Jason Pobletti is president of the Global Liberty Alliance, which helps defend people whose fundamental rights are violated by authoritarian governments. He says the torture Mark Sweden is going through in a Chinese prison is truly inhumane.
This man has not slept in a dark room in almost 10 years. They have not turned the lights off. He has been kept in a very small cell. He has been forced and subjected to extreme psychological pressure and pain.
Pobletti believes as more and more people hear about Mark's case, the wheels of justice will start to turn faster, and his case will be made a priority.
In Mark's case, it's frankly baffling why this man has been in that facility for almost 10 years. The U.S. government has failed Mr. Sweden.
This is from Cornyn in 2017, and I can't get a hold of him now, so I just gave up on him.
All Catherine can do is worry and wait, praying someone, anyone, will do what they can to bring her son home before it's too late.
The worst case scenario is that people in the government just ignore what I'm saying, and they keep having meetings and meetings and meetings. And then Mark dies in the interim. But, I don't know everything that goes on secretly in the government. I don't want to know. I just want Mark to come home.